Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Ansu Fati's situation with the Spanish national team. And then later in the video, we're also going to be talking about quickly about the match between Elche and FC Barcelona. This is going to be Barcelona's last game until we do come back on October 1st and play through that hectic month. Now, the reason why, going back to Ansu Fati, the reason why I do want to talk about this player also, it is because yes, he has not been called up by Luis Enrique. He will not be featuring within this 2-week break that we are going to be having and play within the Nations League. And yes, Luis Enrique has given out his opinion on why Ansu Fati will not be coming, and so we are going to be talking about exactly that. Like, are we seeing the fall of this player? So before we go into any of this, I do want to speak about our sponsor for today, and that is going to be the OneFootball app. If you guys want to find out where I get my information from, where I do get the team stats, the player stats, and how I do build these videos through this channel, all of that information is coming through the OneFootball app. If you do want to download the OneFootball app, you can so by scanning the QR code that you do see here on the screen, and there's also going to be a link provided down below. They'll take you straight to the App Store. You can download the OneFootball app, set exactly who and what you do want to follow, whether it's the Spanish national team, FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester City, Germany, whichever team, and then you'll be set and done from there. It will notify you immediately and live on your phone, and it is for free. So I hope you guys do enjoy it. Let me know how it goes. But now let's go back into this video and let's talk about the players that have been called up to the Spanish national team. Now, let's get one thing very clear. Jordi Alba has been called up. Eric Garcia has also been called up. Busquets, Pedri, Gavi, and Ferran Torres have all been called up when it comes to the Barcelona players. And so, as we can see here, Xavi Hernandez and Luis Enrique do have very different opinions on who is the best to be positioned within a squad list, like who starts, who gets left out. And I do believe that the reason why we are seeing slight differences, it is because there is a slight difference in the system that Luis Enrique does have compared to Xavi Hernandez. It's very normal. But one big surprise though is the fact that Luis Enrique has used and has chosen Jordi Alba over Marcos Alonso and Alejandro Balde. Marcos Alonso and Alejandro Balde are the preferred options under Xavi Hernandez to be starting in the left back position, while Jordi Alba is like in third place. Like, he barely does even play at this very moment with FC Barcelona. But Luis Enrique has said, I'm choosing Jordi Alba. As a matter of fact, not only am I choosing this player, but Marcos Alonso and Alejandro Balde are not going to be called up at all. I'd rather use players like Jose Gaya. And so one of the reasons on why a player like Marcos Alonso is not in the squad list of Luis Enrique did say this, and I quote, "We will hardly take 3 left backs. I prefer to take more forwards because we will have to attack. I prefer to put a full back forward if it is necessary." So this is probably the reason why he chose Jordi Alba. It is because in worst case scenarios, if I do need a left back to go higher up the pitch and almost act like one of the forwards within that front line, Jordi Alba is the preferred one, right? Luis Enrique believes that Jordi Alba can provide so much more up top compared to someone like Marcos Alonso or Alejandro Balde. So it's very interesting. And then of course you can see that Gavi is there. Luis Enrique has also given out a word when it comes to Gavi, and there has been a lot of talks when it comes to this player because yes, Gavi has just extended his contract. Many are very excited about what this player could bring to this Barcelona team for a very long time and what he could bring to the Spanish national team now. And so again, Luis Enrique did say this, and I quote, "I can imagine Barcelona's training sessions with Gavi there. It's wonderful. Let the culés enjoy him, but we will be demanding. There are 2 games prior to the World Cup and with the goal of reaching the semifinals." So you can just see that Luis Enrique is going to be very intense on Gavi, basically asking him, do this, do that. If you miss one thing, you will probably hinder your minutes to play in the World Cup. And I do think that Gavi will deliver. When it comes to like challenges like this, Gavi has always been the most intense, the most demanding, the player that always brings 110%. And Luis Enrique loves players exactly like this. But one big change that I do believe many of us have noticed, it is going to be the absence of Ansu Fati. Like, many of us do know that this player is not going through complications physically. Notice how I say physically, not mentally, right? We know that this player is not like injured or he's like experiencing some sort of like pain on his leg. There's nothing. But this is what Luis Enrique had to say with Ansu Fati not being called up. We brought him in previously to get into the dynamics of the group so that he has contact with the national team. He did not play now. He does in the club, but he has only played 1 official game as a starter. This does say something. So this is basically stating that Luis Enrique brought Ansu Fati last time Spain were playing just to get familiar with the team, even though he was not going to play at all. But then this is where Luis Enrique did question, why is Ansu Fati only having 1 start so far with FC Barcelona? That is where he does see the very big problem. And I know that many of us are going to be saying, well, that's because Rafinha and Dembele have been doing better than Ansu Fati, and that's the thing that bugs Luis Enrique. Basically what we have been seeing is the fact that Rafinha and Dembele have been better because Luis Enrique Enrique, as the coach of the Spanish national team, he sees that as a problem. He sees that as a problem because if Ansu Fati was truly 100%, not just physically, but mentally, right? Mentally, then he would be starting in every game, which is why he sees him starting in just one game so far as a very big problem. He believes that a 110% Ansu Fati that's very good mentally and physically would be starting over players like Rafinha, would be potentially starting over players like Dembele. That is the biggest problem. That is one of the things that does bug Luis Enrique, is the fact that because Ansu Fati has not started consistently, that makes him believe that yes, Ansu Fati is just not there yet mentally to show why he is better than many of the players that Barcelona do have. And I do think that that is true. Like, if you give me a 110% Ansu Fati, a lethal Ansu Fati, yes, he would be one of the top performers within the squad, but we are currently not seeing that. And I think that the biggest problem this player is going through right now is the mental block. I just do not think, and many of us do not think, that he is confident yet. He's scared of getting injured. He's scared of doing that extra work on the field that might potentially put him back into like a different injury and take him out for like another 9 to 10 months. Ansu Fati just does not want to go back. And I think that because of what he has gone through when he was sitting out, being injured all the time, he was probably going through depression because he really wished that he was on the field, which is why I believe that Ansu Fati is scared to do that extra work, to take that mental step up. Because with him, knowing how young he is, he just thinks that the after effect would be him encountering yet again another injury. So this guy clearly is mentally damaged at the moment, and especially when you know that he has to deal with the fact that he is wearing the number 10 shirt. That shirt does carry a lot of weight, and especially that number. And I know that he's probably thinking, how dumb would it be if I get injured again and just walk away with the number 10 shirt, which is why Ansu Fati is just being very careful and why we're not really seeing him 110% yet, because again, there is no physical problem. So I think that right now, as fans of FC Barcelona, right, this family that we do have here, these people who support also Ansu Fati, we need to support this player. We can't be saying that, oh, this guy is going to be the next Theo, he's going to be the next Ricky Puig or the next Bojan. We have to say that Ansu Fati is going to be one of the best players in the world in the near future, and just support him because he really does need it. And then Luis Enrique continues to say this, and I quote, "He has a special relationship with the goal, but now I don't see him on the squad currently. I hope he recovers his level," which I think he does not have right now. We continue to have high expectations with Ansu, and hopefully he does achieve it. I was the first to call Ansu Fati when he wasn't a starter at his club, which is Barcelona. Facts will mark what I think. He will return when he does have the level of the national team. So again, Luis Enrique is making it very clear. Of course, he has to be very hard on these players because we do have a World Cup. Of course, Luis Enrique does also want to do very good in this World Cup, and he has also made it very clear, once he does see Ansu Fati 110%, the one that we saw before he encountered this long-term injury, that is when he will call him back up. And the fact that he has put this player in this position to say once he has required that level that is necessary, he also does believe that it is possible for him to actually return, to get back to his best self. It's not like he's saying this player is trash and that he needs to get better. He's just saying once he does get back to that level, which I know he will, we will call him back up. So it is very possible. It's just a matter of when. Like, when are we going to be seeing Ansu Fati score 1 goal for FC Barcelona, score 2 goals in the next game, and then bring like 2 assists in the other game? It's just going to be a matter of when. These are phases in players' careers that is very important. Like, these are phases that make you grow as a player to become one of the best players in the world. Phases like this is absolutely very necessary. So this is a phase that can either grow you into becoming a great player or kill you very early in your career. This is happening towards Ansu Fati. The same thing happened to Lionel Messi when he first got introduced to the first team of FC Barcelona. The same thing happened to Cristiano Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo. Look how Ronaldo got injured, like I think a couple of months before that World Cup where he won the World Cup with the Brazilian national team. He came back to that World Cup of 2002 and ended up being one of the best players after experiencing a long-term injury. And that is why many of us do call Brazilian Ronaldo, Ronaldo Nazario, one of the best players that has ever graced the game, is the fact that they're able to overcome these difficulties, these injuries. Ansu Fati is put right now in that position, and now it is up to him on whether he's going to be reacting yes or no. So I'm not going to be questioning Luis Enrique for what he has done, right? Like, this guy has clearly called up Ferran Torres. I know that many are going to be saying, why Ferran Torres? Like, this guy is trash and you sit out Ansu Fati. What is wrong with you? Like, I'm not going to question Luis Enrique. This guy has brought the Spanish national team to the Nations League final and also the Euro semifinal. So this guy knows what he's doing. He knows exactly how to handle situations like this. Now, do I believe that because of this decision that has been made, the fact that he's not going to be able to showcase his talents against Portugal and Switzerland, does this mean that Ansu Fati will not be seeing the World Cup? I don't think so. I think that what Ansu needs to do moving forward is show that he can still start in every game, that he can still score and assist with FC Barcelona. That is the only thing he does have to focus on for the next 2 months and then be called up to that World Cup. I believe that Luis Enrique will will do exactly that. And that is where we are going to be transitioning towards the match between Barcelona and Elche, and still just talk about a little bit about Ansu Fati, because yes, Xavi has said that he has 100% trust on Ansu Fati and also Ferran Torres, and they are both expected to start in the match against Elche. We look at the squad list here, you can see that Ansu Fati is called. Of course, there are differences between Luis Enrique's squad list and also Xavi's squad list, but this is the perfect game for Ansu Fati to grow into games like this against Elche. Xavi has also defended Ansu Fati's current situation with the Spanish national team, and this is what Xavi had to say, and I quote, "Do I believe that Ansu Fati is injured? No, Ansu is fine. We work with him on a certain plan. He is a great player and he makes the difference when he comes in. He is a very important player to us. Would it be good for Ansu to play in the World Cup? Well, it is in the decision of Luis Enrique. I have a good relationship with him. I spoke with Enrique about Ansu Fati's condition. Generally, Ansu should play, and you will see that." So overall, you can see that Xavi is defending Ansu. He thinks that Ansu will bring exactly what is required in order for Barcelona to win these games. And just overall, right, just stepping back away from this situation and just talk about Barcelona's overall stance within the season, we need to work. We need to continue to improve. We saw how Barcelona played against Bayern Munich. Now we understand the position that we are in, how good we actually are. We are in the right path. We have played better than Bayern Munich. Has it been unfortunate that we lost 2-0? Of course, but this is football, and I think that if we continue going through this path, not only can we win, but also win with style, because the last thing I want to do is win and win with no style. I do not want to become a Real Madrid. I do not want to become the Inter Milan of 2010. We want to win, but win in a beautiful way and inspire the youth players that this should be the way to play football moving forward, because that is what Barcelona is. Even the players of Bayern Munich and many other people within the media outlets have basically said that yes, Barcelona have greatly improved. Like, they have completely outplayed Bayern Munich through that game. So this is going to be the last game before international break, like what we have said before in the beginning of this video. And then after, when we do come back, it's going to be a very hectic month. Ansu Fati is greatly going to be needing this like 2-week break. The coaches need to mentally recharge during this 2-week break. So it's going to be a very necessary thing to happen for us to have our last game and on September 17th. So going into that starting 11 and what we could see, we should expect to see a lot of players that did not really get a lot of minutes in the past like 2 or 3 games. And so we should expect to see something like this: a defensive line of Alejandro Balde on the left, Ronald Araujo and Koundé as the center back duo, Bellerin on the right back position, our midfield being Frankie as the pivot, Gavi and Pedri as the interiors, and the front three being Ansu Fati on the left, Lewandowski as the striker, and Ferran Torres as the right winger. I want to see Bellerin more, maybe to see how he does function in the right back position, just to give in the near future Koundé some rest and having like Christensen with Ronald Araujo or maybe Eric Garcia with Piquet, and just see healthy rotation through this season. I also do want to see Frankie in the central defensive midfield position, maybe to see how he does correspond playing in a position like this. Let's see if he does get comfortable, because I really do want to see Frankie have a future with this club, and the best way he could get that is by playing in a different position, maybe in the pivot position, because at this very moment, players like Gavi and Pedri, they're just simply untouchable under Xavi Hernandez. But that is going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona daily news and pre-match preview. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.